Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, you're at my book nook, and today I haven't gotten them off the shelf yet, but we have a video. I think I did a version of this where I sort of just went through like my Penguin classics collection. And I believe there was also one where I did like just ancient texts or something similar of that sort. However, today we are going through my Odyssey collection and my Iliad collection. So I'm a huge fan of both. And yeah, this is the shelf, the aforementioned shelf of books that I didn't touch. Those are glasses. I'm getting replacements for those because I gave them the wrong PD, and it makes me wobbly. Otherwise I would have worn them because they're blue. But anyways, so this is the shelf. If you will just give me a moment, I will take it off and we will go through the books. Now it's gonna be like empty. Hope it's not too bad. This background. That looks fine, right? I think that looks fine. Alright, so I've got them here, so to speak. So we will there we go. We will start, and this is going to be in no particular order because I don't have them in a particular order. I actually have them by like size because then it's like aesthetic to me, like it's visually pleasing. But we're just going to start from the top of the piles. So first up we have, this is not the most recent edition that I got. This is the second most recent. So this is the Odyssey by Homer with a translation and translated with an introduction and notes by Daniel Mendelsohn. And this is the cover. She's gorgeous, she's stunning. And I'm going to show you the underneath. I think it's also very, I like how minimalist this is. You know, it's like, oh, a lone man on a boat. Kind of encapsulates the story as a whole. And then we have it like Odyssey, Homer translated, the usual shtick. Yeah, and thankfully this has really heavy, like creamy pages, which are great, but I'm scared to annotate in them, which isn't a thing that happens very often. So, and then we've got a map, and who doesn't love a map? You can obviously easily find this map like online, but I like the color palette of it. Also, apologies for the lighting. It is an absolutely dreary day, but whatever, right? So I like how it has in certain places it has the stressor, like the accent. So yeah, but the pages are like really nice. I don't know if you can hear that. You probably can't, but the pages are really nice. And so this is the first copy, so to speak. He's currently the Charles Ranlett Flint Professor of Humanities at Bard College. So nice. Coolio. Okay, so we continue. This is my most recent acquisition, and it's because I went to the secondhand bookstore and I found this on the shelf, and it is in pristine condition. Like there's not even a usually they have for the secondhand bookstores, they have like a mark at the bottom. This doesn't even have a mark at the bottom. This is like in pristine condition. I'm not even sure why they have the mark. They do the mark at the bottom, but it is the Anthony Very translation. This is also the Oxford World Classics version. And I haven't read this translation, but I'm very excited to read this because I have a video idea coming up for hopefully the summer. So there we are. The Odyssey. This is the Anthony Verdi translation, and on the cover is, I believe Circe. Yes, it is the John William Waterhouse cover art of Circe Invidiosa from 1892. So it is in the Art Gallery of South Australia. Yeah. So yeah, I really like this cover. I like how they chose a very specific moment of the Odyssey that isn't super like it's kind of mysterious, but also it's like it's very important to the story. I think his interactions with Circe and what she chooses to do are very important and previous to Odysseus getting home. So I like that they chose this one. Yeah, very, very, very excited for this. Next, we have one of my most prized versions, I think. Oh no. Is that? Oh. Sorry, there's a part that was like, why is it like that? Oh, I think I put that in. Anyways. Oh well. But it is the older Penguin Classics. Hold on. I gotta put the brightness up on this. The brightness needs to go up, because you clearly can't see anything. There we go. That's a bit better. Again, lighting is atrocious. It is not even, what time is it? It is 12:41. It's dark outside. I have a feeling we're gonna get a lot of rain later, probably thunder, and it's probably gonna get even darker. So this is like the old Penguin Classics. This is the Evie Reed translation, which is also the same translation that are in the modern bindings of Penguin Classics. So I really like these versions because they're so simplistic, and also like they fit in the palm of your hand. I wish they would like redo these just like with a modern binding. I think that would be really fun. I feel like because people want cooler editions of like classics, I feel like they'd make so much money. But it's just like, it's so simple, right? So it's like you have Homer, the Odyssey, you have just like a little, symbol. I can't tell. There we go. Like a little symbol, and then you have translated, and then Penguin Classics, and then you have like a nice like brown border. Like it's not orangey brown, which I hate, but and then you've just got a nice like simple spine kind of thing going on, and you've got like this little border detail, which I really like. Just like this border detail I really like. And it's just like so simple, and I mean, it doesn't smell like anything, but I really like the fact that the pages are brown. I got this as a gift from Ded Moroz, who's the Russian Santa Claus, for New Year's one year. And if you're wondering like why I asked for it as a present and didn't buy it myself, it's because in Canada, classical studies as a whole isn't super popular as it is in like the UK or whatever. So you can't find these in stores. Like they will not be in stores at all. Like even the secondhand rare bookstores, like this would be considered rare on this side of the ocean. Whereas in like England, you can walk into any charity shop and see like 15 different versions of specifically this type of penguin, like old Penguin Classic sort of stuff, right? Maybe not specifically the Odyssey, but like, I don't know, another, the Iliad or the Aeneid or Cicero or something like that, right? So it would be very difficult to find these, hence why I asked for it for New Year's, because we celebrate New Year's, not Christmas. So next I have 2 copies of the modern Penguin translations, and one for some reason is significantly thicker than the other, and I'm not sure why, because I believe it's the same. Even like the I don't you know. I don't you know. Like, surely it's the same. I don't think anything's missing from one or the other. Yeah, it's the same. But anyways, so I have 2 copies of the modern binding of E.V. Ryu's translation of the Odyssey. This one is for my friend. I'm annotating it for her, so we'll set that to the side. And then this one is my copy. This one I got after I asked a friend on Instagram who has like a PhD in classics, so she knows the translations, and I was like, hey, I'm having a really difficult time getting through my one translation that I have. Like, it's really difficult. It's really like, obviously this is an epic poem, but you also have to, the translations have to be enjoyable to a certain extent, right? So I was like, hey, like, I really want to get through the Odyssey, but like, it's really difficult for me to get through this one translation that I have, and it was the only translation I had for like over 10 years, right? Because I got it as a gift, and I didn't think that, oh, maybe there's like another option, until I joined BookTube and Bookstagram, and I started my degree. So like, I didn't really click that there were other translations. I just knew the one translation it was grade 12 that I realized that there were other translations. But anyways, so yeah, and she's like, okay, well, you can try the E.V. Ryu translation, which is more prose than it is poetry. It still reads very much as if it's supposed to be an epic poem. Like, it flows very nicely as a poem does, but it does read like it's not sort of in the middle stanzas, so to speak. Like, it's full page text. I don't know if you can see that. And let me show you the difference between, like, let's say the very translation. So, like, you can see that it's sort of centered. There's a lot more line breaks, so to speak, whereas this one, it has full sentences. Like, you have full sentences in poems, but you know what I mean. So, for example, Circe at once swore as I ordered her. So when she had duly sworn the oath, I went with the goddess to her beautiful bed. Meanwhile, the 4 maids who do the housework for Circe were busying themselves in the palace. They are the daughters of springs and groves and sacred rivers that flow out into the sea. One of them threw linen covers over the chairs and spread fine purple rugs on top. Another drew silver tables up to the fine purple. Another drew silver tables up to the chairs and placed golden dishes upon them. The third mixed the sweet and mellow wine in a silver bowl and set out the golden cups. And the fourth fetched water and lit a fire under the big cauldron, and the water grew warm. So it's like, like, it reads as a prose, as a story. So I bought this and I immediately started, and I finally got through Telemachy. And if you know me, Telemachy and we don't get along very well. So I'm gonna continue with my Odyssey copies, because I feel like that would be a natural progression of things, because we only have gone through the Odyssey. So this is my original copy, the first one that I have. I hate deckled edges. I think that's also something that took away from my enjoyment of this translation, because it is a beautiful translation. It is a great translation. Don't get me wrong. Like, for example, Book 3, King Nestor remembers. 9 years we wove a web of disaster for those Trojans, pressing them hard with every tactic known to man. And only after we slaved did Zeus award us victory. And no one there could hope to rival Odysseus, not for sheer cunning. And every twist of strategy he excelled us all. Your father, yes, if you are in fact his son. I look at you, and a sense of wonder takes me. Your way with words is just like his. I'd swear, no youngster could ever speak like you, so apt, so telling. As long as I in great city, Zeus contrived in his heart a fatal homeward run for all the Achaeans who were fools, at least. Dishonest, too, so met a disastrous end, thanks to the lethal rage of the mighty father's daughter. So I'm not going to continue because it's going to be very long, but it just flows very nicely. However, with my pea brain at like, I don't know, 17 years old, I was like, this is difficult, I got this ages ago. So this is the Robert Fagles translation specifically, and this is the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition, and has the jet colored edges, which I strongly dislike. It is a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It feels nice to just like flip through, but when you're reading, it's such a nightmare. Like I feel a paper cut coming. I feel like there's gonna be a paper cut that develops just because I'm just like holding it. You know? Like, anyways. So, and lastly, my copy of the Odyssey, my last copy of the Odyssey, it also has deckled edges, which is a bummer because I really love this translation, and that is the Emily Wilson translation of the Odyssey. This took the world by storm in a lot of ways, both good and bad. Both good in the sense that it was truly an achievement for Emily Wilson, who is a classicist, mind you. Before y'all come in the comments being like, she is a classicist. However, her translation, rightfully so, I think we can't have. I don't think there's ever going to be a person who will accurately translate the Odyssey without people being like, this isn't right, this isn't that, because words evolve, and words that, and yeah, we can't, apply certain things to the past because that's how it was back then. But it's also like maybe this person was uncomfortable with using this specific word. Like you can accept the certain words were used in a certain sense, and now that they have derived a different meaning, they have developed into a different meaning because the world moves on, But you can also, be like, oh, I was uncomfortable in using that word. And I think it takes away from the power to the woman, from the character that this woman is, from her sense of self, all that stuff. Anyways, all that to say, this took the world by storm because this is the first woman to translate the Odyssey into English. And I say into English specifically because I'm sure there are female translators that have translated the Odyssey from the Greek to other languages, and this is specifically the first woman into English. She's not the first woman to translate the Iliad into English. That goes to Caroline Alexander. I don't have a copy of her Iliad, unfortunately, but I don't really like the cover of that. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. I love the way that this poetry flows. I don't think I would recommend this as for like a beginner. I think if you're coming off of something like epic or something along the lines of just general mythology and you want to dip your toes into the Odyssey, I would recommend either Oxford World Classics or Penguin Classics. Always recommend those for any type of ancient text that you're interested in, which is why I have several editions of different ancient texts, right? Or why I have to often resist buying another edition, but always Penguin Classics and Oxford World Classics, because it has an introduction, it has text information, it has biographies, it has indexes, it has more information in it because of the expectation to just have all those in that specific format, in that specific edition. So like every Penguin Classic, whether it's like a classic book like Jane Austen or Emily Bronte, to Arian, Cicero, Homer, all that stuff, they all have this specific format. They have an introduction, there's like more information, there's sometimes there's like further reading, so you have this expectation to have all this information already. It's like a 10-in-1 sort of situation, right? And you don't really have to go beyond that. Like you can read the Evie Reed translation and get a majority of the things that you are supposed to get as like a normal non-classicist reader. This I would recommend if you have read another translation, I would recommend this as a secondary translation. I think it's interesting how all these translators use different words for a specific subset of characters, right? And she actually explains why she changed certain words compared to like other male translators. And yeah, she's a woman. Obviously, she's going to see things differently, right? Right? And people are just gonna have to accept that. Again, the decollete. I feel like there's just a paper cut that's gonna appear. So yeah, let me read you a bit from it, maybe. This is book 20, The Last Banquet. Be strong, my heart. You were hounded by worse the day the Cyclops ate your strong companions, but you kept your nerve till cunning saved you from the cave. You thought that you would die there. So his heart held firm and constant, but he writhed around as when a man rotates a sausage full of fat and blood. The huge fire blazes, and he longs to have the roasting finished. So he squirmed this way and that, and wondered how he could attack the shameless suitors, being one against a multitude. Athena came from heaven and stood near him, at his head, resembling a woman, and she said, "Why are you wide awake, unlucky man? This is your house, this is your wife inside, and your own child, the son you hope to have." Clever Odysseus said, "Goddess, yes, all that is true, but I'm wondering how I can attack those upstarts who are always clustered together while I'm alone. My biggest fear is this: if you and Zeus help to kill them, then what? Where can I run to escape my punishment? You tell me." With glinting eyes, Athena said, "So stubborn. Most men trust friends, even weaker mortal friends, whose judgment is far worse than mine. I am a goddess, and throughout your many trials I have watched over you. If we were ambushed, surrounded by not one but 50 gangs of men who hope to murder us, you would escape and even poach their sheep and cows. Now go to sleep. To stay on guard awake all night is tiring. Quite soon you will distance yourself, Odysseus, from trouble." It's so good. It flows so nicely, and it's just fantastic. Like I'm so happy to be in this translation, to have this translation, because it really is more so for the regular reader and not so much focused on being like a classical text, which is fine. It's perfectly fine to be a classical text with specifically classics in mind, but just so beautiful. So beautiful. And this is also another one that got me past the Telemachy. So to the actual interesting part. Love Telemachus, but my god. I can only muster enough energy to anyways. So next we have the Iliad, which I have less copies of, which is not the end of the world, but it is what it is. So first up, we have the Penguin's Classics translation. This is by Robert Fagel, so the same person that did the Penguin Classic Deluxe edition of the Odyssey. And as I said, Penguin Classics. And if there's something you might notice, it is that I have the older Black Spine editions. The newer Black Spine editions, I don't like the way that they're made. And this one's floppy. Okay. Anyways, I don't like the newer spines, and I find that they fall apart really easily. Like if you compare, like look at this. What is this? Like, can you, like, what is this? Why does it look like there's water? Like there's water under. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, what the hell? Anyways, that's my regular rant in like every video. But yeah, this is the Robert Fagel's translation. Again, this is a poetry translation, and I have not read this one, but very excited to again. This floppiness is just gorgeous. I love the floppiness. But yeah, I do like little images that there are. I find that very cute. Not a big fan of the cover, but that's okay. It is what it is. Okay? So next we have, this isn't a full translation from the Iliad, but it still counts. It is selections from Homer's Iliad by Alan Rogers Benner with a foreword by Mark W. Edwards. So this is a collection of Homer's Iliads, 5 books of the Iliad. So we have books 1, 3, 9, 18, and 22, along with episodes from another 7 books, 2, 5, 6, 15, 16, 19, and 24. Short summaries between book bridge the narrative and aid the student in gaining a comprehensive view of the Iliad as a true classic of the Western canon. So this actually is in the Greek text. And this is for classical study students that are learning Greek. Usually it's for those that are in Greek classes and stuff like that, or like specifically Iliad in Greek classes. I saw this and I had to have it, and yeah, I haven't really cracked it open, but it's a good thing to have, and it was only $14. This would have been really difficult to find in Canada. Again, it would have been really difficult to find such a niche book in Canada. So yeah, there's that. So it's not a full translation of the Iliad, but it's a good chunk of it. So and then next we have, this is my first copy of the Iliad. This is the first one I got, and that's because I'm still waiting on the matching one of the Iliad to my Odyssey Penguin Deluxe one from a specific person. Anyways, and I saw this and I like the cover and I like the style of it. So this is the Samuel Butler translation, first published in 1898, and this is the Arcturus version, I guess. I don't even know what to call this. But this is a Samuel Butler translation. This is what it looks like. Glorious. Again, this is another poetry. No, actually, this looks very prose. The way that it's laid out, I think this might be more of a prose translation now that I think about it. Although for some reason it uses Roman names. Why does it use Roman names? I shall have to figure out why. Why does it use Minerva and Juno and Jove? This doesn't have like an introduction or anything. Like it just ends. It doesn't have, oh no, it does have a preface, but I don't know if this preface is going to be, this preface has, anyways, I will figure out why this has, first of all, why they're using the Roman versions of the gods and the goddesses. And second off, if this is more of a prose translation or a poetry translation, because it's formatted like the prose translation, like the Evie Rio translation. So yeah, why is it using Ulysses? Interesting. Okay. Samuel Butler translation. Keep note of that it's not, yeah. Just take note that it's not accessible prose translation. I should have just read the back. I'm stupid. By classic scholar and novelist Samuel Butler. I should have read the back. Wow, my brain is not working today. Anyways, yeah, not sure why it uses the Roman names though. That's kind of pissing me off, actually. And it's only using it for like Ulysses, so Odysseus, and because I don't think there's a different name for like Achilles or anything. And it's using the Roman versions of the gods. Anyways, I will get back to you on that probably. And lastly, but not least, is again the matching Emily Wilson translation of the Iliad. I'm not the biggest fan of the way they changed the spines. I'm not a stickler about it, but considering that like you have your books out, like I feel like they should have had it more uniform. I do like the ripping paper like effect. I find that very interesting. I very much like that. And this cover is gorgeous, don't get me wrong. Again with the deckled edges, man. We gotta stop with the deckled edges. They don't give anything. I haven't read this translation, but I'm very excited to. Again, I think I'm just gonna get it on my e-reader because these deckled edges drive me up the frickin' wall. But yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I'm not, as I said, I'm not the biggest Iliad fan. However, that will not stop me from reading every possible translation I can get my hands on. Anyways, that is it for this video. I know it's a slightly long one and I went on a couple of tangents, but that's how it is. Around here. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you have any translation recommendations, do let me know as well. Let me know your thoughts on the various translations and stuff like that. I will be happy to hear them. And as usual, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials. I'll link the various videos relating to like the past collections and stuff like that down below and probably in like the pinned comment or whatever. And follow me on all my socials, follow me on my Instagram. I'm more active on there. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. And as usual, happy reading.